almost Juneteenth. Well, actually, today is the June 9th. The day is Juneteenth. It's the 19th of June. So happy Juneteenth. That means your banks are closed. And there are people like in Connecticut and Kentucky and, Des Moines, Iowa, and, Broomfield and Lafayette and all these different places. And they're saying, I need to run by the bank and make a deposit or pick up some money. And the bank's closed. And they say, why? And then there's a sign on the window that says, because it's Juneteenth. And then the obvious question comes, what in the world is Juneteenth? Well, I'll be speaking with the elders later this afternoon, I believe at 4 o'clock at Styles African American Heritage Center on Welton Street. And we will be discussing Juneteenth, what it is and what it isn't. Okay, I'm not going to hang out with you very long. I just have to let you know on this Juneteenth day, on today, and the blacks, we're very interesting in the way we use prepositions and prepositional phrases. On today. It's official. The blacks have disinvited Congresswoman Diana DeGette from the Juneteenth celebration in all of its iterations. So no matter where Juneteenth is being celebrated on the planet, Congresswoman Diana DeGette has been notified officially by the blacks that she has been disinvited from Juneteenth. Now, I know it's a federal holiday, so she has to celebrate it. She has to celebrate it because everyone has to celebrate it, but she cannot celebrate Juneteenth amongst the blacks. It's been official. Her office has been notified. The blacks chief of staff, Sandy Robnett, and we're also collecting pennies for change to make sure that we refund her parade entrance fee. The blacks are doing this, and we're collecting pennies. So we would like to give the $75 back to Congresswoman Diana DeGette in pennies, or at least in change, representing the change that we want to see in Washington. That's what that's about. So if you've got some pennies laying around, get them to Brother Jeff. Put them in a baggie, put them in a cup, put them however you hold those pennies. Like, remember that little plastic thing that you'd squeeze and it had that little chain on it, and the chain, and you squeeze it and it was like a little cup. You squeeze it and you look right in there and there's your little change, like your change. If you've got some pennies in there, get them to Brother Jeff. We've got to get $75 worth of pennies or $75 worth of change to make sure that Congresswoman Diana DeGette is made whole for her funds that were expended to be in the Juneteenth parade, but she has been disinvited by the blacks. And let me tell you why. Congresswoman Diana DeGette has been serving in Congress for 30 years. And no complaint like that, like me, no shade or anything like that. She's in a hotly contested primary amongst two black women. And the one that she believes is in the forefront of this race, in other words, the one that she feels is more of a threat, is clearly Maylot Kuros. And so what Congresswoman Diana DeGette has done is she has decided to go negative, to go dark, and to go ugly, and portray Maylot Kuros as someone who hates and would like to see the destruction of the Jews. Now, that's a trope, that's a dog whistle, and everything that goes along with that. But I'm not going to get into that because we've been having these conversations that are largely disingenuous politically for a long time. If you're a Jewish person, no one of good sense wants to see your destruction. And whoever wants to see your destruction, we all stand firmly against. And Maylot Kuros is not someone who is championing or advancing the destruction of Jewish people. And as I always say, I have to say this with a precursor, you're talking about European Jews. I'm talking about Jews from Europe, Jews whose original language was probably Yiddish, And when it became a part of the state of Israel, they changed the language from Yiddish to Hebrew. So Hebrew is not the original language of the European Jew. And I will argue that with anybody who would like to have that argument, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to get into the politicalization of faith. It's a disingenuous conversation. And I'm going to tell you this. If you're a Jewish person, then here's my advice to you. Keep the Sabbath and follow the commandments. Just do that. And one of those commandments is thou shalt not kill. That being said, Congresswoman Diana DeGette has used the trope, the attack, and it's an insidious attack, painting a black woman as anti-Semitic and someone who wants to and revel in and support the destruction of Jewish people. That being said, a lot of folks are upset with Congresswoman Diana DeGette. Not only for that, but it's just simply time for her to go. It's been 30 years in Congress. She hasn't had a chance to really even be primaried in a very real way. And now that the country is so disgusted with the Democratic Party and the Democratic leadership and the leadership that's in Washington, D.C., the real Diana DeGette is showing up. In other words, I'm willing to say or do anything to make sure I secure my seat in power, not fight for the people, but secure my seat in power. And Congresswoman Diana DeGette, that's what we don't like. That's why you're disinvited from Juneteenth. But let me give you the growing list. And if you would like to add your name to the list, I'm going to share the list of the blacks that have stepped away from Congresswoman Diana DeGette or were never with her. Let's do it two ways. Were with her firmly for 30 years or are not with her at all and have never been with her. I'm going to give you a list, Congresswoman Diana DeGette, of the blacks we're talking about because you'll notice some of these names. As a matter of fact, you'll notice most of these names. And I've got to let everybody know the Chief of Staff for the Blacks, Sandy Robnett, has delivered the official notice to Congresswoman Diana DeGette, disinviting her from Juneteenth worldwide. Now, she can celebrate it in her own private, personal way because it's a federal holiday, but she cannot do it amongst the blacks. She cannot celebrate Juneteenth amongst the blacks. That means there will not be a honking wave down the Juneteenth parade doing this with the Congresswoman Diana DeGette banners on the sides of the vehicle. And one of the main reasons is safety considerations. Remember, she just canceled a discussion with Montbello, which was organized by a black man by the name of Marcus Weaver, spent a lot of time organizing these conversations. They were conversations individually with congressional candidates, and Wanda James showed up on the date that she was to show up. Maylot Kuros showed up on the day that she was to show up. And the Congresswoman went through all of these iterations about finding the date, finding the time, finding the whatever, the parameters. And then on her time to show up and speak to the Montbello community, she canceled a couple of days before, stating safety concerns because they had seen on the internet that Diana DeGette would be at risk because the address of the location or the forum was notified and people knew where Congresswoman Diana DeGette was going to be. If that isn't ridiculous in and of itself, a public servant having safety concerns to show up at a forum amongst her own Democratic Party constituents who are vetting her to see if they want to send her to Congress for 31 years says, I'm afraid. And this is the problem that we are having with leadership in Washington, D.C. Afraid leadership that won't show up and fight for ordinary people. but the black community is tired of being discounted. Thus, I am going to read you a list. And if you would like your name, if you're amongst the blacks and you would like your name added to this list, just put it in the thread and we will add that name in just a moment. We will add that name in just a moment. Are you ready? Here we go. Because what we told Congresswoman Diana DeGette is, yes, we've disinvited you from Juneteenth, and it's undersigned the blacks, and she might not know who the blacks are, but I'm going to read you a list of the blacks who have no longer decided to support Congresswoman Diana DeGette. Are you ready? Congresswoman Diana DeGette, here we go. Of course, Baba Jeff, you know him as Brother Jeff, but that is 2015 and before. Or 2025 and before. 2026 and forward is Baba Jeff. And Diana DeGette, Dante James has just added his name to the list. I'm sure you know Dante J. James. So when you're thinking about who the blacks are, and yes, happy birthday to the blacks, Chief of Staff Sandy Robnett, happy birthday. Dante James, Baba Jeff, Malete Burhana Moscow, she's the owner of Whittier Cafe. Mother Helen Rigmaiden. See, that's what cost you all of those Windsor Garden votes over there. So the best thing for you, Congresswoman Diana, to get to know is that your voters have already voted, and we're going to talk about what we're looking for at 7 p.m. on Election Day. I think it's the 30th. Okay, I'm going to tell you what we're looking for. Okay, now here we go. Mother Helen Rigmaiden, you know she's got Windsor Garden on lock. And so the good thing about your voters, Congresswoman Diana DeGette, or which could be a little bit of a challenge, most of your base is dead, dying, or have defected you. Your base is not expanding. And even the elders and the seniors that have supported you for a long time, even if they are secure beyond secure neighborhoods where, they got brick fences around and they can't get in because they're protected. Well, they know that their great-grandchildren are not going to experience the same America that you have experienced. So now they're not focusing on themselves. They're focusing on their children, their grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren. And they know that Washington has blown it for the ordinary American person. So you lost Mother Helen Rigmaiden. Do you know who the first black editor was of the Denver Post? His name is Greg Moore. He's no longer with you. Greg Moore has decided to not be with Congresswoman Diana DeGette. I'm sure you're familiar with Anna Jo Haynes. Anna Jo Haynes has left the building. The Honorable Peter Groff. The Honorable Peter Groff has decided to leave the building. Bishop Dwayne Taylor. Bishop Dwayne Taylor has left and is not supporting Congresswoman Diana DeGette. In case you're wondering who the blacks are, we're just giving you an update about who they may be. Makisha Booth, Tamara Roan. You know Tamara Roan. You know Makisha Booth. The Dean of Black Journalism, John Bowman, JB. He's gone. Lamont Shannon. That means a lot of the Qs when you're starting to talk about the Divine Nine, and I'm not even sure if you know who the Divine Nine are. Lamont Shannon and his son. If you've lost Lamont, you've lost his son, Brother Q. So you've lost Quincy Shannon and Lamont Shannon. Let me just ask you this, Congresswoman Diana DeGette. Topaz McBride. She handles all of the social justice work for the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance. Let me just tell you that Topaz McBride is not supporting you, nor is Deborah Clark or the Free Think Zone's research department Taz Coleman. The research department is not supporting Congresswoman Diana DeGette. Diana DeGette, do you remember just a few days ago when you were invited to speak to the blacks? It was the Colorado Black Women for Political Action. It was Brother Jeff's Cultural Center, and it was the Black Economic Development Organization, and it was at Posner Center. That was a no-show. The one you did with Marcus Weaver in Montbello was a straight-up cancellation. Jice Johnson is the head of that Black Economic Development Association. Jice Johnson is not with you, and you didn't show up for the forum that she put together. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with James Chapman. In the community, we call him the button man. The button man might make a gazillion buttons saying, I am no longer with Congresswoman Diana DeGette. These are just some of the blacks in case you're trying to figure out who are the blacks that we are talking about. Brian Gordon is not with you. Davita Young is not with you. Violet Norman Martin is not with you. Keisha Cunningham is not with you. Keith Haynes is not with you. Tanya Francis is not with you. We're going to talk to you about Under the Dome and the attack of black women in politics, because black women in politics are incredibly attacked by individuals, and half the time we do not see you standing up on behalf of them. But anyway, Representative Regina Guy English, she has left the building. She is not supporting you. Deanna Davis, Congresswoman Diana DeGette, is not supporting you. Unfortunately, you've lost Joe Folke. You know her by Joe Folke, but her name is Jocelyn Ford Keel. Jocelyn Ford Keel. Oh, you just lost Dr. Keita. Dr. Keita just left you. Dr. Keita is no longer with you. She's added her name to the list and she's gone. So you just lost Dr. Keita, also Congresswoman Diana DeGette. Going back to Joe Folke and Jocelyn Ford Keel, do you know what's a problem when you lost Joe Folke? You also lost Joe Keel. That's her dad. And I'm not even sure if you know the legacy of jazz in Colorado, but it's not familiar with what's taking place in the cultural musical space. So for you to lose Joe Folke, you've also lost Joe Keel, because that's her dad. But even worse than that, you've lost her mother, and that is Jennifer Ford Keel. This is a musical dynasty amongst the blacks. So when you got that letter of disinvite and it said the blacks, I'm just giving you a list of folks that are no longer with you, or haven't been with you, or are looking for new leadership and are disgusted by, what's taking place in Washington and the way that blacks are being treated. However, let's continue. Are you familiar? Because like I said, this is going to make you very unhappy. This is going to make you very unhappy, okay? Because you've lost Happy Haynes. You have lost the Honorable Happy Haynes. I know that shouldn't make you happy, because that should make you very unhappy. You lost Big J. You may not know, but that's Big Jason McBride, which means that you've lost an entire slate of black folks that work with young people. You've also lost the support, or never had the support, or you certainly are not going to get the support of Dr. Lisa Calderon. Just giving you an idea of some of the blacks that you listed, or that are not with you and are not going to be participating with you. You just lost Baba Lee Hawkins. You just lost Baba Lee Hawkins. He's gone. He's riding with the blacks. And this is an opportunity for new leadership in Washington. And whoever you vote for, just don't vote for Congresswoman Diana DeGette. She didn't show up in any forums. She didn't show up in any debates. She hasn't come and asked you for your support. So she's basically saying, I already got that on lock. She doesn't understand that the blacks, we either break the tie or make it possible for those who win elections to be elected. And so don't worry about it. All of these folks are going to call 10 or 15 of their closest friends. That's all they're going to do, and let them know who they support in terms of the CD1 race, no matter where they are on the planet. Here we go. The great Leanne Wheeler. By the way, you've just lost the great Leanne Wheeler. She's not with you. But if you want to talk about who helped turn this state from red to blue, If you want to see who helped turn this state from red to blue, here's a problem right now. Would you like to make this announcement? Abe, Lulu, would you like to make a quick announcement? And if you do, you've got to come and you've got to do it quickly because it's Juneteenth and we're kind of letting Congresswoman Diana DeGette know what's going on. Special announcement. Here it goes right there. Go ahead, let her know.
She also lost us.
Oh, say no, get right in the camera. Let her know.
She also lost us.
There you have it. Breaking news. She's lost the kids. Congresswoman Diana DeGette, the kids don't have any confidence in your leadership. You've lost the children. I was talking about how the state of Colorado went from red to blue. And don't sleep on them kids. Those kids then put up more yard signs and knocked on more doors and talked to more voters than the average kids you will ever meet. You've lost those children. And so that means you don't have to be 18 to participate in the political process because some people need someone to pass out flyers or to put down signs or to knock on doors or to make phone calls. You just lost the kids. Okay? The black kids are not with you. All right? So let's go ahead and continue. When I told you that Colorado has not had a Republican governor since I believe his name was, what was his name? What was his name? It's been so long ago. The Republican governor, Bill Owens. Was his name Bill Owens? I think his name was Bill Owens. There was a movement that changed Colorado and worked quickly. Let me just tell you quickly, and everybody, just tell everybody, Brother Jeff's, Baba Jeff's live right now. You know, my phone is blowing up with individuals who are leaving Congresswoman Diana DeGette. I mean, leaving her. That being said, one of the individuals that was a part of the blueprint that flipped this state from red to blue is by the name of Dr. Al Yates. Dr. Al Yates is not with Congresswoman Diana DeGette. When you start thinking about Juneteenth, you also got to talk about Kwanzaa and the Nguzo Saba. Now, I know Congresswoman Diana DeGette, you may not know what the Nguzo Saba is, but those of us who do know what the Nguzo Saba is are under the leadership of Deborah Sims Farrar. And Miss Deborah is no longer with you if she's ever been with you. Let's go up under the dome for just a second. There was a Speaker of the House. I believe it was a Speaker of the House, Black Speaker of the House. By the way, that Black Speaker of the House's name was the Honorable Terrence Carroll. The Honorable Terrence Carroll is not with Congresswoman Diana DeGette, just giving her an idea of what the blacks are doing in this primary when you decided not to show up council or just totally disregard the black community. That's why you've been disinvited from the Juneteenth celebration, and we will happily not see you in that convertible doing anything like this, particularly if you're scared to show up for black folks in Montbello. You should be terrified to show up for black folks in the wild in the 5 Points. And keep it real. It's all about good trouble. It's all about respect. Black folks are respectful. We don't want to see the killing of Jews. We don't want to see the killing of anybody. We don't want to even do the violent thing or another unless you get violent with us. But that being said, your safety is, you're more safe amongst black folks than like I can ever imagine. But you're just disinvited. Like, you will not wobble with us. You will not electric slide with us. You will not do anything with us, not even the bump. Okay, so let's continue. You've lost the Honorable Terrence Carroll. Mother Helen Bradshaw, speaking of elders or seniors, you're not going to find anybody that's going to outwork Mother Helen Bradshaw. She will not be working for you. She has defected. I told you, your supporters are either dead, dying, or defected. Your base is not growing at all. It's springtime in politics right now, and people want new leadership. Let's continue. Are you familiar with the Urban Leadership Foundation? And you should be, because most of the black leaders that you've ever engaged with, if you chose to engage with black leaders, have come through the Urban Leadership Foundation. And the Urban Leadership Foundation is run by Dr. Ryan Ross. See, Dr. Ryan Ross is no longer with you. And this is another reason why you should hire black folks that understand black folks in Colorado rather than going to Chicago or Washington, hiring the blacks to work for you that have no relationship with the blacks that are here. I guarantee you, whoever the blacks are in your office right now, I'm giving them a clinic. They should be contacting everybody in here, but it doesn't matter. They're going home with you as well. Okay? You don't know Dr. Ryan Ross? Well, guess what? He doesn't know you. And here's the problem. You've lost Dr. Ryan Ross. Here's somebody that I know that you know, and we're going to just continue down the road. I got to go because it's Juneteenth. I'm giving you a Juneteenth message right now. And then I will also, Keith Weston. Keith Weston said he already voted and he didn't vote for you. Keith Weston. I'm putting him right here on the list. Keith Weston has already voted and he did not vote for you. Here's the point. It's Juneteenth. I'm moving quickly. I'm going to be speaking to the elders at 4 o'clock at the Grace Stiles African American Research Library. Well, not the African American Research Library. I'll be across the street at the Grace Stiles African American Heritage Museum, and I'll be talking to the elders. And I believe that the elders are going to, certainly implore the ancestors not to support you either. But with that being said, you lost Rosalind B. Harris. Do you know who Queen B is? Well, Rosalind B. Harris, Queen B, is the publisher of the Urban Spectrum magazine, spreading news about people of color. You have lost Rosalind B. Harris. And that's a problem because now you do not have a communication organ to spread your love for black folks. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to probably look into her latest issue and see if you even advertised with black people. But with that being said, it doesn't matter. You do not have B. Harris. And I'm going to continue. You've lost Pastor Reginald Holmes, New Covenant Alpha and Omega Church, which means you've also lost Pastor Big T, because they are partners within that church in faith tradition. When I told you that you lost the Honorable Anna Jo Haynes, well, you also lost her daughter because I already told you about Happy Haynes. Well, let's make it a threesome because you've lost Khadijah Haynes as well. They are not voting for Congresswoman Diana DeGette. And so here we go. Let's continue. We'll go in. We'll talk about Dr. William King, not Dr. Martin Luther King, but Dr. Martin Luther King is not voting for you either because he knew about the militarization, the materialism, and the racism. And you're certainly supporting the materialism and the militarism. You're supporting the militarism with your votes, sending all of our money for destruction of people all over the planet. So with that being said, I think you lost Dr. Martin Luther King, but I'm going to talk to William King, Professor William King, who you have also lost. But let's just continue. Delivering this message to you personally, it came from the Black's Chief of Staff. Her name is Sandy Robnett. It's her birthday, and clearly you've lost Sandy Robnett. She's the one who emailed you, and she also put the information in your congressional website. So you're on record for being disinvited. And we wanted to make sure we disinvited you before you said, I've got to respectfully decline my participation in the Juneteenth parade because of safety considerations. We won't miss you. We won't miss you. Black folks can teach you how to deal with being safe and navigating rough terrain. But if you can't show up in front of your own constituents, you can't show up in front of Donald J. Trump. Let's continue. Richard Lewis, the RTL Foundation that's right there on Welton Street that has all of those black nonprofit organizations that are housed in what used to be the media center where Cuvo was, and then Cuvo moved, but PBS is still not Rocky Mountain PBS, or I think it's like one of the channels, Channel 6, one of the channels is still there. And then you also have Free Speech TV and all of them in that building. Well, RTL is on the second floor. And by the way, it's a slew of nonprofits that are black inside of that building. And Richard Lewis is not with you. Congresswoman Diana DeGette. I'm just kind of giving you a feel for the blacks right now because you might be missing the memo and I want to give it to you. Talking about the upper room and someone who has a close relationship with the Creator on behalf of, a slew of black churches, where I don't even know if you did the black church tour right now, where you went and talked to the big churches and stood up and said, "Hi, I'm Diana." You might be disinvited from them as well. I'm not sure. I know you're disinvited from Juneteenth, but you've lost the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance. That's all of them. You've lost the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance. Congresswoman Diana DeGette, you shouldn't have given them cold cuts and them potato chips. A better policy, lots of participation. I know you're somewhere, and wherever you're at, that shows where you have your values at. And the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance, they've kind of left you. It's a wrap. And you can't tell me anything about the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance, because I could tell you about the founding fathers of the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance who put the medal on me and made me a member of the Greater Metro Denver Ministerial Alliance. So with that being said, some of those ancestors are not with you. Judge Gary Jackson and Regina Jackson, they're not with you. Judge Gary Jackson, there's the Sam Cary Bar Association. Judge Gary Jackson is not with you. Congresswoman Diana DeGette. Councilman Obi, he is not with you as well. I'm going to go down 26th for just a second, because you might not know about 26th, but you've definitely seen her under the dome, and this name will ring familiar to you. The Honorable Rosemary Marshall is no longer with you. Congresswoman Diana DeGette, when you're trying to think about the list of the blacks that are not with you anymore, we're going to go ahead and add the Honorable Rosemary Marshall. She is not with you and would not like to see you return to Congress. Here's an update. I had a chance to talk with the head of the Colorado Black Women for Political Action, Bianca Emerson. I just got off the phone. Yes, one of the things that you could probably benefit from is my cell phone or my Rolodex and my contacts and my numbers and all those different dynamics. I just got off the phone with Bianca Emerson. She's the head of the Colorado Black Women for Political Action. Now, they have made a decision not to weigh in on this primary race. The Colorado Black Women for Political Action, they're not weighing in on any of the primary races. And of course, I'm not a member of the Colorado Black Women for Political Action, although I'm a big supporter of the Colorado Black Women for Political Action. I love what they do. I love what the women are doing. I love what they stand for. But I think this would be a great time for you to be 10 toes in, chest out, chin up in support of 2 black women for Congress. That's what the Colorado Black Women for Political Action could be doing right now, saying, you know what, I'm not weighing in on the primary, but I am standing with black women. I'm standing with black women. That's an easy thing to do, but I'm just saying that's just me. But I respect the organization's decision and however they arrive at those decisions. But in lieu of their decision, I've got to let you know there are 2 black women running for Congress right now, and they're highly qualified, they're highly capable, and they represent black folks in their fullness and the society and the district in general. Their names are Wanda James and Maylot Kuros. They are black women, and they are running for political action. They're not endorsed, because the Black Women for Political Action are not endorsing in this primary race. But I'm going to tell you, I would go out of my way if my name was the Colorado Black Women for Political Action. I'd go out of my way to make sure I'm endorsing both of those black women. That's what Brother Jeff is doing. I'm endorsing both of them, Wanda James and Maylot Kuros. So on your ballot, it does not matter. All these folks are leaving Congresswoman Diana DeGette. So my recommendation is that you elect Wanda James or Maylot Kuros, 2 black women for political action. But that being said, I'm going to go back to a past president that we know of the Colorado Black Women for Political Action. This is not an endorsement. This is absolutely a defection from Congresswoman Diana DeGette, from a past president of the Colorado Black Women for Political Action. Her name is Halisi Vincent. Do you know Halisi? Yes, we know Halisi. And you know Halisi, as a matter of fact, Congresswoman Diana DeGette. She's not with you. Let me just keep going. The Honorable Leslie Herod. She spent a lot of time under the dome. Leslie Herod is not with you. The Coalition for Black Trade Unionists, they're not with you. Councilwoman Chantel Lewis, she's not with you. The Free Think Zone, you decided never even to show up in the Free Think Zone. And and speak to free thinkers and just say, here's who I am, here's what I'm doing, here's what I would like your support. We never support anybody who doesn't show up and at least ask for our support. So it goes without saying, the Free Think Zone is not with you. Let me go quickly for you right now in case you don't understand the importance of being disinvited from Juneteenth and leadership that does not want to see you go back to Washington, D.C. And by that, they mean they're going with either Maylot Kuros or Wanda James. Here's two names that you should know. The Honorable Wellington E. Webb. The Honorable Wellington E. Webb does not want to see you return to Washington, D.C. Now, that's like hearing a big tree in the forest fall down. Did you, like Diana DeGette, did you hear that? Did you hear that? That was the Honorable Wellington E. Webb. That's the big tree in the forest that just fell down and said it doesn't want to see you going back to Washington, D.C. And when you lose the big guy, you've also lost the Honorable Wilma Webb. That's two big trees in the forest. Boom, boom. You've lost the Webbs. And so that's a huge loss to your campaign. Let's just continue. We already talked about Pastor Big T. Hughes. We already talked about B. Harris in the urban spectrum. Let's talk about Councilwoman Taisha Adams. You've lost her. We talked about Happy Haynes. You lost her. Savannah Brooks. You lost her. Hey, I already talked about this yesterday. You know that CU won a national championship, and they would not have won the national championship without Charles C.J. Johnson. CJ is not with Congresswoman Diana DeGette. By the way, Rashad Younger, when you're starting to talk about those younger voters and those younger activists and those leaders that were in the NAACP, et cetera, they're not with you because Rashad Younger has left and is not supporting Diana DeGette. Diana Davis, Deidre Thames, Thames, and her whole family, Deidre, William, and Desiree, are not supporting Congresswoman Diana DeGette. Isabella Bowler, not supporting Congresswoman Diana DeGette. Elette Valentine, not supporting Congresswoman Diana DeGette. Quentin Prada and their entire family is not supporting Congresswoman Diana DeGette. Kashaba Jali Mayo is not supporting Congresswoman Diana DeGette. And so here's the marching order, and then I'm going to leave right now because it's Juneteenth, and you will not be seeing Congresswoman Diana DeGette amongst the blacks anywhere near Juneteenth. Here's the marching orders. Everybody on the list, thank you for being on the list. But now we need you to call at least 5 people, 10, 15, or 25, depending on how big your network is. You can't fight the big money. Washington is slandering a black woman. And you had political leaders that slammed Wanda James by calling her racist for supporting black people and saying that a racist ad campaign at CU was not acceptable, and fighting to make sure that blacks and people of color, or in general, were represented in the multi-billion-dollar economy of CU. They went after her and censored her. That's what the leadership did. And I'm just telling you. Here's a problem. Shayla Moon, and you know she keeps her eye on Washington for us. She says none of the Congressional Black Caucus members serving as surrogates have endorsed her. I got to look into that. I'm gonna call the Congressional Black Caucus, and I'm gonna talk to Shayla, and I'm gonna get the Washington D.C. inside. I got to go back and see if the Congressional Black Caucus would like to see Diana DeGette, or since they're the Congressional Black Caucus, would they like a black young woman or a black young woman? Would they like Maylot Kuros or Wanda James? I wonder who and I'm going to get going. I'm going to get rolling. Everybody, I just wanted to give you a quick update and let you know if you go down swinging. But this time we're going to say if you go down voting. But here's the important thing. You can't beat the money. You got billions being spent by big money folks that's saying, hey, you don't got to go talk to people. Just talk to the money. We'll buy the commercials. We'll put out the ads. We'll hit the mailboxes. We'll do all of the different stuff. So we got to hit the doors. We got to make the phone calls. And we got to tell our own intimate circles, 5 people, 10 people, 25 people, 100 people, to go ahead and vote for anyone other than Congresswoman Diana DeGette. That's our marching orders. That's what we've got to do. I'll tell you what will happen on the 30th of June. If Diana DeGette at 7 o'clock, when those results come out, if she's way far in ahead, then Wanda James and Maylot are going to have to catch her. But if she's behind at 7 o'clock, she'll never catch up because her voters have already voted, died, or have defected. If you go down swinging. You just might score a knockout. Rumble, young man, woman, and community. Happy Juneteenth. Congresswoman Diana DeGette. Did you get the memo? Uh-oh. I think Alan Webb is on that list now. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You've lost all the Webbs. Well, of course, if you've lost the big guy, Wellington E. Webb, and then you lost Grandma Wilma Webb, and I'm talking about grandson, you might as well put Alan Webb right here. You've lost all of the Webbs. So that's going to be a problem for you. But again, happy Juneteenth, everybody. The official notice has already been given to Congresswoman Diana DeGette. She is not invited to Juneteenth amongst the blacks, but because it's a federal holiday, she can go celebrate it anywhere she wants. Take them raisins with the coleslaw and the raisins and Alicia Brown. I got to put Alicia Brown down. Alicia Brown. We're going to contact everybody, and we're going to show what it means to disrespect black women, disrespect black people, and disregard us when it comes to election time. And so Leslie Summey, that means you've lost the county commissioner, Leslie Summey. And by the way, she's a county commissioner in Arapahoe County. You just lost Leslie Summey. This is going bad. This is going bad. We're going to have something new in Washington. But with that being said, the raisins for the potato salad and all that stuff, take that to the other Juneteenth celebration. Congresswoman Diana DeGette, you cannot celebrate Juneteenth amongst the blacks. Go and be wherever you're safe and secure, and know that the average people are not safe and secure from high mortgage payments. They're not safe and secure from access to health care. They're not safe and secure for quality education. They're not safe and secure from AI, data centers that are going to pollute the water and the grid in poor neighborhoods. They're not safe in Elyria, Globeville, and Swansea, where you put a highway and extended highway money straight down the poorest neighborhood with the poorest environmental damages. They're not safe from the digging up of the Park Hill Golf or the City Park Golf Course in regard for federal money and all those different things. We're not safe as well. We're a little insecure too. So why don't you just go wherever you feel safe, and we'll go where we feel safe, and then we'll just call the whole thing off. All right. New leadership in Washington. If you go down swinging. You just might score a knockout. Rumble, young man, woman, and community. Rumble.